Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都很难
It's just complicated. So much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei and join me today is as usual our Tony Reed. Hello Tony.
Fei Fei, what's going on to our listeners out there? It's a pleasure to be here, and as usual, I hope I can learn something today.
Definitely, there's something really interesting, and also a recent realization of myself as well is the importance of hot water.
Yeah, I've been
You've
hearing
definitely
that.
heard about that.
Of course, I've been living in China for a while now, and it's always, I got a stomach ache, drink hot water. My head hurts, drink hot water.
Yeah.
My leg broke, drink hot water. And so there's like whatever
No
happens,
one would say like
drink hot water.
No one would say drink hot water after your leg broke. But it's
Any problem you have,
that's
drink
this
hot water.
sentiment. Like especially if there's something wrong with your body, drinking some hot water would definitely, we believe, will help you with that.
Yeah. I would like to hear the science behind it, but yes, it is certainly something that I've heard a lot.
Well, I'm not really a scientist, so I don't think I can, thoroughly explain what's the science behind. But recently, during the past winter, I realized that drinking hot water definitely made my stomach feel better compared with, for example, drinking cold water or room temperature water.
Okay.
So in this winter, I started to develop the new habit of drinking hot water because before, I didn't really believe in that as well. Like, what's the difference between, hot water and cold water, especially in summers?
Yeah.
But-
For me, it's tea. Because to me, I drink a lot of tea. And to me, it's just like, well, if you're going to drink hot water, then you may as well just put a tea bag in there and drink some tea.
Yeah. Like in most Chinese restaurants, they would serve up either hot tea or hot water.
Yeah.
It would be very difficult to find a glass of cold water, especially ice water.
Yeah, you got to ask for it.
In some cases, like especially smaller restaurants in China, they won't be able to serve you ice water because they simply don't have ice.
没有冰.
没有冰, 没有冰. You can only ask for hot water, which is 热水. And that's the topic for this episode. The essentials in living in China and also traveling in China is to know the cultures and reasons behind 喝热水, drink hot water. And first of all, as usual, we'll have a dialogue for you.
哎呦，肚子突然好疼啊！
怎么回事？多喝点热水缓一缓。
早知道就不该在运动后立马喝那么多冰水。
难怪你会觉得不舒服。就算感觉渴，也要注意不要饮用过量凉水，容易刺激肠胃。
And that's the whole conversation. And as usual, we'll break it down sentence by sentence. First one, 哎呦，肚子突然好疼啊。
This is the ouch sound. Yeah. My tummy really hurts all of a sudden. So, ayo is the sound that I found myself making after half a decade of living in China.
Yeah.
But this just means ouch, or it's almost a sound of a sigh
Yeah.
of discomfort, or just when you have a lot on your mind. Yeah, it has multiple functions, I think.
Yeah, for example, I forgot my keys to my apartment. I would also say, 哎呦, I forgot my key, 忘带钥匙了. So 哎呦 is very versatile in many cases.
Yeah. 肚子, this means stomach, right?
A tummy as well.
Okay. And then 突然,
突然,
this is like quickly or suddenly. Yeah?
Suddenly, yes.
And then 好疼, hao is very, tongue is hurts, right?
Yeah.
And then is this like a way to soften this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in colloquial Chinese.
All right.
And then 怎么回事?
That's just what's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
怎么 is like how, right?
Yeah.
And then 会, is this like be, or is this one of those verbs like
Well,
will?
I don't think there can be a direct translation with 回. But basically the whole sentence of 怎么回事, you can remember it as a set phrase of asking, what's wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
but sure is normally is, right?
This sure is actually things or matters.
Oh.
Or what's the matter is also another translation for 怎么回事.
Okay. So how are things in a way, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 多喝点热水缓一缓.
This is drink more hot water and try to relax. So 多 normally means more.
Yeah.
Right? And then 喝 is drink. Dn, is this like a little?
Yeah, a little.
And then 热水, so 热 is hot, and then 水 is water. And then 缓一缓. So I think this is kind of like relax, right?
Kind of. Well, first one, the 多, it normally follows a verb. 多喝水, drink more water. 多吃点儿.
Oh, eat more, a little more?
Yeah. It's a way of showing your friendliness and your consideration for the other part. It doesn't really mean that you should drink more or eat more. It's just
That's kind of odd. You're telling me to eat more. Sounds nice. And if I eat more, is that a problem?
No. It's like if you're going to a dinner, especially at your friend's house, the mother would definitely tell you 多吃点, 多吃点, eat more. But she's not like trying to push you to eat a lot.
Yeah.
She's just trying to be polite and show her hospitality towards you.
Okay.
So, and 多喝热水 is also a way of showing basically you care for the other part.
Okay.
And then 缓一缓 would also be an interesting word here. It can also be used. It means relax, of course, but it can also means, for example, during your workout sessions, and you are doing really heavy lifts. You need a moment to just sit there and catch up your breath, and to try to calm yourself down. And that's also a 缓一缓 situation.
Okay. 缓一缓. So switch on and switch off?
Like, I need some time to get back.
Oh, to take a breather.
Yeah, exactly.
缓 sometimes means switch, right?
Well, in this one, it means sort of slow down.
Oh.
And then we have 早知道就不该在运动后立马喝那么多冰水.
So this is, I shouldn't have had so much ice water right after a workout. So 早知道. So 早, it's normally like morning, right?
Yeah, 早 is morning.
Or early.
This one is early, I think.
Okay. And then 知道 is like know, right? So
yeah.
I knew early.
If I knew earlier.
就, I think this 就 here indicates like then. If I knew then, 不该, I think this is should not.
Yes.
在, I think this is like at or in. 运动 is sports. And then 后, is this after?
在 something 后 meaning after.
Oh, okay, 在后 is after. So 在运动后, this is after sports.
Or workout in this case.
Okay.
So 运动 can be referring to the sports or any fitness or workout you do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then Lima, I think this is immediately, right?
Exactly.
Is this another way of saying turan?
Turan is suddenly. So for immediately, we have a lot of different expressions. 立马, 马上.
马上, yeah, for this
or
one.
立即, 立刻.
立刻, I've heard that one too. Okay, so Lima is immediately. 喝 drink. Name. Is this pronounced properly? Name.
那么
So like.
or that.
Oh,
那么 that.
Nage. Is this also the same thing or?
那个 yeah would be like that one.
Okay. And then duo, I think is that more?
A lot.
Or a lot?
For 那么多 basically meaning that much or a lot.
Okay, so this is kind of a cassette phrase. Name duo. And then 冰水 is obviously ice water.
Yeah, exactly. And then 难怪你会觉得不舒服.
So this is no wonder you're hurting or uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I think uncomfortable would be the right translation here.
Yeah. 难怪, I think this means like no wonder.
Yeah.
你 is you. 会 is like will.
Yes.
And then 觉得, I think this is feeling, right?
Yeah, feel.
And then 舒服 is comfortable, and then 不舒服 is obviously uncomfortable.
Yes,
So,
不舒服，觉得不舒服 feeling uncomfortable. And then 就算感觉渴，也要注意，不要饮用过量凉水，容易刺激肠胃。
so this is even if you're really thirsty, be careful about drinking a lot of cold water. It can be very upsetting for your digestive system. So 就算
就算
就算 this is like even if.
Yes.
Yeah. 感觉渴 so 渴 is to drink, right?
渴 is thirsty.
Oh, okay. 感觉 isn't that like feeling?
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, feeling, and then 渴 is okay, thirsty. So even if you're feeling thirsty, yeah, I think is that also?
Well, in this case, it doesn't really mean also. It follows 就算 in the beginning, and it's sort of is that phrase for 就算 even if. Can be meaning still.
Okay.
In this case.
So still, yeah. 要, I think here it's like to do something or should, right?
Yeah.
注意
注意
注意. This is to like be careful.
Pay attention.
Or pay attention.
Yeah.
不要, is it like do not? And then 引用.
引
I think that's I'm not sure what this one is.
饮用 is a more formal way of saying drink.
Okay. Wouldn't people just normally say 喝?
Yeah, 喝 is like the colloquial way.
Yeah.
But for like written and formal language, you would see 引用 a lot.
Okay.
For example, on some signs, it will be very difficult to see for fresh water, drinkable water. They will be written as 饮用水.
Okay. So 饮用 is a new word for me to say drink, and then 过量 like
过量
过量. This is like a lot, right? Excessive.
Yeah, excessive amount.
Yeah, a lot. And then 凉水, right?
Yes.
And this cold
water.
Cold water. So 冰水. So 冰水 is ice water. 凉水 is cold water.
Well, I think it can be difficult to explain 凉水 in English because 凉水 is a more general idea referring to cold water or ice water, or sometimes if, for example, the temperature is really low at the moment, the room temperature water also feels kind of cold.
Yeah, chilled.
Yeah, so it's kind of 凉水 is referring to all those three categories of the cooling or chilled type of water. Basically, it's not warm or hot.
Okay. And then 容易, I think this is possibly, right?
容易, well, it has two meanings. In this sentence, 容易 is basically easy, or it's easy to, it's easier to.
Likely to.
Likely to, yes, exactly. And it can also be meaning something that's really simple. For example, this sentence is really simple. 这个句子很容易. It's like it's really easy for you to do. It's not something very difficult.
Okay. So it could be easy or it could be likely.
Yes.
All right. 刺激.
刺激.
刺激. This is like to upset or annoy or inflame or...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then the chang wei must be the digestive system, yeah?
Well, it's not really that
Or
equivalent.
肚子.
Chang is the bowel, and wei is the stomach. And putting them together, chang wei, it kind of refers to your digestive system. But of course, your digestive system contains more than your stomach and your bowels. But the full name of the digestive system would be very long in Chinese and it sounds very like academical, like 消化系统.
Okay.
That's only something you would say from a doctor.
Okay.
But so for in like colloquial and daily conversations, 肠胃 is an easier and more colloquial way of saying your digestive system.
Okay. I mean, we could also say for tummy, we could say 肚子, right?
Yeah, 肚子.
Okay. So 容易刺激肚子.
Well, then in this case, it's not that correct.
That doesn't work either, huh?
Yeah, 刺激肚子 sounds like something is hurting your muscles or your skins on your stomach. But the 肠胃 is referring to the
internal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is that correct even for the first sentence? Because the first line was 哎呦肚子突然好疼啊. So he's not talking about the surface of his stomach, right?
No, he's talking about the whole area is hurting.
Okay.
Like my stomach aches.
Right.
肚子疼.
So maybe chang wei is better then, right?
Well, you can also be very specific. You can be 我胃疼, my stomach ache. 胃 is the stomach. So 肚子疼 would be the general way of saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, are you feel comfortable enough to do the whole dialogue?
Yeah, I suppose I'll go first.
Okay.
哎呦肚子突然好疼啊.
怎么回事？多喝点热水缓一缓。
早知道就不该在运动后立马喝那么多冰水。
难怪你会觉得不舒服，就算感觉渴，也要注意不要饮用过量凉水，容易刺激肠胃。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese with myself, Fei Fei and Tony Reid. We'd love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. And for more fun Chinese learning, you can also follow us on Facebook by searching Learn Chinese to watch many fun videos and live streams. And coming up next, let's learn more about the benefits of drinking hot water. 多喝热水. Don't go away, so you'll take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei, joined by Tony Reid. And today in this episode, we're talking about the benefits of hot water, a widely believed in China. That's very beneficial to your health.
Yeah, that's the story. But yeah, I mean, it is soothing. It's nice to... In the West, we don't normally drink a lot of hot water unless it's something like, for example, if we're drinking tea, if we're drinking some kind of soup or, some type of fluid that's supposed to be hot, then we will drink it. But just plain water that's hot, then no, that's not a practice.
Yeah, I remember when I went to Australia, I asked for a glass of hot water because I wasn't feeling that well that day. And
they looked at you like you're crazy, right?
Yeah, I can't forget the waiter's face. Like the expression he's giving me. And he keeps asking me, are you sure you're not asking for tea? Or coffee?
Yeah.
Like, no, I just want a cup of hot water with nothing in it. And he was like, what?
Yeah, it's like, what?
But now I think with more Chinese are going overseas, I think a lot of the waiting staff are getting used to having someone handing you a thermos, asking you to fill it in with hot water.
And it's as a business, as a institution that sells products and services, it's a little hard to charge people for
hot water. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless you get a lot of Chinese, and you could probably put a fee up there, like hot water fee.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that yet.
But in a lot of like public transport junctions in China, they often offer free hot water. They have like a water station, for example, in the airport of Beijing, so you can refill your thermals with hot water. But you can't really find a water station with cold water. You have to pay to buy bottled cold water in a lot of public places in China.
Well, yeah, I mean, bottled water is a little bit cleaner, so it's, if you want that, then of course you're going to have to pay for it. There's a plethora of brands that you can buy in terms of, the kind of water.
Yeah, exactly. But I think in China, drinking cold water, even though it's bottled, still sometimes translates to unhealthy, is not good for you type of water.
Yeah, that's true. And it depends on 中药.
The Chinese medicine.
Yeah, this is something that I learned. And to be honest, I think that I have accepted the philosophy because the analogy is the body is at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So our bodies are at a certain temperature. And if you put something in it that is substantially less or lower than that, then the body will produce kind of like steam. It's like pouring cold water into a skillet or a frying pan. And so that is going to produce some steam or some vapor. Well, as time goes on and you're constantly drinking this cold, you keep pouring cold water onto your skillet, you're going to produce a whole bunch of water vapor that's trapped inside of your body, which produces moisture. And so the inside of your body has a lot of moisture in it. And when it can't get out, and so then you're going to develop stagnation, you're going to have problems with your stomach, pain, and all kinds of different things because the body needs to get that out of the body. And that was something that I had to read, and I have accepted this analogy of why cold water is bad for the body.
Yeah, I think I learned it the hard way. Like, I was a firm believer of cold water. I enjoy 冰水.
It's nice sometimes.
Yeah, especially in summers.
Yes.
Like, if you come back from a really hot day, you definitely want something iced. You want 冰.
I don't like ice, but I like it cold.
Yeah,
if it's cold, then it's like, all right.
But then in recent years, somehow I found I start to find it really difficult to digest those cold waters or food in my stomach.
I agree.
And I slowly switched to, first of all, I went to hot tea because after all, it's some sort of a beverage. And then I realized I definitely need hot water in my digestive system so that I can feel comfortable enough. And then now I'm, part my way with cold water now, basically, especially now in winter. It's really cold outside. And so I start to welcome 热水 in my,
热水
the hot water.
非常舒服
Yeah, 非常舒服, very comfortable. And then I look it up. Why it seems only Chinese people are obsessed with hot water, basically, around the world.
Yeah.
Right? You don't really hear even people in Japan or South Korea drinking a lot of 热水.
Yeah, it's always tea. They always put some kind of tea in it.
And if they are drinking water, it's definitely either iced or cold or room temperature.
Yeah, room temperature or... again, I lived in Korea. I didn't have too much... There was no 热水.
热水 concept.
It was just, either room temperature water. Not too much ice water, actually. Just room temperature water, which was cold enough.
Do you know how to say room temperature water in Chinese?
It's not 凉水, is it?
No, it's 常温水.
常温水.
Yeah, 常温 is the room temperature.
Oh.
And 水, of course, is water.
常温.
So in Chinese restaurants in China, if you're ordering something kind of a beverage, for example, a soda, they will check with you whether you are asking for it iced or room temperatured. 要冰的还是常温的?
Yeah, these days, because now I think people's tastes are diversifying, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I actually look it up. Why are Chinese people so obsessed with hot water and also hot food? It's not only, like, if I told my dad I had a cold sandwich for lunch, And my dad would be like, oh, my poor girl, she doesn't have time to have a proper meal. But that's normal to have like a sandwich for lunch in most, especially English-speaking countries.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
There's cold sandwich, and then there's, of course, room temperature sandwiches. I mean, we normally don't gauge sandwiches by temperature.
Yeah. But you won't heat it up in a microwave.
Sometimes. Some places, they have like grilled sandwiches. And so some of these sandwiches are quote-unquote hot.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are just room temperature. Very few are actually cold because maybe tuna, because they have to preserve the tuna, and because of that may qualify as a cold sandwich. But it's very popular in the West to eat food that's not necessarily hot.
Yeah. If you're coming to China, it's definitely necessary to learn the customs behind 喝热水, and don't be feeling surprised when someone offered you a cup of hot water and telling you 喝点热水.
Or just ask them 我要冰水, 谢谢.
Yes, exactly. 要冰水 is an essential expression. And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Fei Fei with Tony Reid here in the studio. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can listen to the show and read the script there.
Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and much more. Just search for Takeaway Chinese, and don't forget to leave your comments, questions, and ratings.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
再见.